So what did I do before I started entrepreneurship? Well, I was working at a research institute as a research engineer in the automotive field. And I started out doing research on low-speed reignition or stochastic reignition. Depends on if you want the industry name or the GM name. Did that for about 3 years. After that, I went to the after-treatment research group. Primarily worked on three-way catalysts and just a touch of diesel work. We actually had a burner rig set up that would combust gasoline in basically an exhaust pipe. We'd split the flow, one through a cooler, one straight through. Mixing valve, super high temp thermocouples, control the temperature, control the flow rate. You can also control the mixture of all of that, so you can really simulate what the exhaust components are going through your test piece. And then we would do a rapid aging on them, so we effectively put 100,000 miles on them in a week. And those are very valuable components for the industry. So, after I did that, I was noticing I preferred doing process improvement. Some of that may have been because my environment I was in needed a ton of improvement. So then I joined another group, and that was all I was tasked with doing was improving processes. And I enjoyed that, but I didn't have enough authority or sway. Manager didn't have enough sway to get some of my projects through. And the last one I was working on, I was estimating it was going to save the company about $500,000 a year. And just having a dickens of a time getting it approved. So the pay structure there is very conservative. It's a non-profit. So there is no profit bonus at the end. The salary is competitive with the industry, which gets bonuses. Therefore, we are automatically underpaid. And then your very meager raise every year is mostly based on CPI, which I'm highly disillusioned with. That number is so manipulated, so fake. So, as a way of making more money and utilizing a lot more of my talents, and be able to have more control over things, where if I see something needs to be done differently, I can do that as a business owner. I don't have to go through 4 approvals. I just either do it myself or get Lance to do it, and it's done. So, lots of those. And then also, I'm not foreseeing the United States being a massive superpower at the end of my lifetime. So, what does that world change look like? Are they still going to need the automotive research? So, how how best can I feed my family whenever the leading edge of research decides to get unfunded for 5-10 years or longer. And that's whenever you start looking at the economy, and if you're involved with food, transportation, a little bit of clothing, and housing, that's the core. When people have $2 to spent on food, transportation, and housing, and lots of the common stuff between all of that is a pallet. All the goods in the world are moved on a pallet. So it's a very core thing of the economy. It will be around for a very long time, very stable. You might have the volume get reduced, but it's not going to be defunded. You're not going to have your biggest clients say, "Oh, we don't need any pallets." That is, if you've chosen your clients well. If you deliver to a grass farm, people may not be buying grass for the new houses, so they may only need 1,000 a week instead of 3,000 a week, but they still need pallets. So that's a lot of the what kind of stuff are you running away from and what stuff are you running to, and those really have to align before you're ready to take such a big jump as to leave a salary research position. But all of those things did line up. I saw how the Lord was providing for me in the pallet business, and I really liked how dependent I was on God. I actually like that, because then you can see Him working in your life every day. And if that doesn't bring you close to Him, pretty much nothing will. That'll either push you away or bring you closer, and it brings me closer. With all the stuff to run away from, the stuff to run to, and seeing how the Lord was providing, I then told my manager, it's time for me to resign. I did that back in July of 2021. It's now June of 2022. And it now feels normal for me to wake up and get in the truck and drive, instead of feeling like I'm skirting the boss and driving by work. It's really neat having your own business that you can run through a month and have it bring enough money home to pay for itself, keep the owners alive, and at least on paper, as of today, have lots of extra money. So, anyways, that's it for today. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. Remember that the Lord's the provider of everything. See y'all.